Let's see here. Let's see here. Vesters, let me know. Black Diamond 306. Hey, let me know if you can hear me. Because we're about to start. And I got a full lineup. And it's going to be very good. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay. Hey, Vesters, let me know if you can hear me. And let me know if this music is too loud. I'll just turn it off. Let's see. Okay, the Vestals are coming in. Hey, Vestals, just give me a thumbs up to let me know you can hear me. Audio check, audio check. Let's see here. Okay, gotcha. Thank you very much. All right, good. All right, thank you. Hey, Grim Creeper. Hey, you already been with me for 4 months. You already know what to look out for. Let me go ahead and let some more people in the room real quick. Sometimes this YouTube notifications go out a little slow, especially on Sundays. But I hope your day was good, Grim Creeper. All right. Okay, I got 7,000 people in the room. I got 9,000 people in the room. All right, let me go ahead and begin. So, hey, investors and viewers, you know I have a good list today because this is postseason. You know that we're going to take notes. We're looking at report cards. We're looking at the owners. We're looking at the families. And we're looking at anything, any external connections just for exposure. We're going to put it like that, exposure. I need to watch my words carefully now. But we're going to talk about it. But before I begin, I want to bring some devastating news. Okay. And this is what I added to the lineup today. So I woke up this morning and Shedeur Sanders had an emoji on his Twitter page, and it was very disturbing. We didn't know exactly what it was. And then I found out a couple hours later, there was a young man. He was a current NFL player by the name of Rondale Moore at the age of 25. Last night, this young man, for whatever reason, he self-deleted himself. He plays for the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, it was devastating news. And then when we made the connections, we assumed and we connected the dots. That's what Shedeur Sanders' post on Twitter was. There is another young man on Twitter that Shedeur Sanders is very close to. The family is very close to. I think his name, Gucci, however you pronounce it. When he had posted the news, and I looked at the timestamp, Shedeur Sanders' timestamp was at 10:26 last night, and Gucci's timestamp was at 10:55. So that's what Shedeur Sanders was, I'm going to say, upset about, or just upset about last night. And of course, the whole entire NFL community is upset about this news. Now, since I started my channel about 4 months ago, and this is the second time in 4 months, I've had to report such news about the current NFL players removing themselves from this world. I think it was in October, November, I had to report on Marshawn Nealon. He played for the Dallas Cowboys. And then today, I also have to report the passing of Rondale Moore, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Marshawn Nealon was 24 and Rondale Moore was 25. So rest in peace, young men. Rest in peace. All right, so let me keep moving forward. Oh, and hold on. I want to report something else about Rondale Moore. So Rondale Moore, he was drafted in, I'm going to say 2021. He was drafted by the Cardinals. He played for them for 3 years. He also played for 1 year for Atlanta, but he never actually had active playing time because he got injured in an expedition game or a walkthrough game with another team. So he really don't have any stats for Atlanta. And this year with the Vikings, once they traded for him, he didn't play not one single game with the Vikings because he got injured in an expedition game. So I don't know if he had got the call stating that he may get traded or get cut, and that's why he self-deleted himself. So the story is ongoing. Of course, it's fresh. There's no latest news that I have found out. So please, just rest in peace. Just rest in peace. Mental illness in the NFL is true and real. So I definitely be watching this story, and if I find out any other information, I would definitely bring it to you. Okay, Vestas? All right, moving forward. So I did some homework on the Seahawks. Josh Joby, the one that I said threw a punch in the Super Bowl in the last quarter of the NFL. So guess what? The NFL has fined him. They didn't suspend him, but they did fine him. But they did not fine him for throwing the punch at Stephon Diggs. They fined him for the unnecessary roughness on the sideline. So why did Shiloh Sanders get ejected? I'm going to continue to bring this up. I'm going to continue to bring it up until I see a baseline. But I just want to bring that to you. Like I said last night, I was going to do some homework. That's the homework. He's only been fined. And guess how much he was fined? He was only fined $18,400, around $450. Not even $19,000 for what he did in the NFL. But so just keep that in mind. And it was not for the punch. It was for the unnecessary roughness. You go figure, okay? So last night, I also brought up Myles Garrett, okay? Myles Garrett. So I want to make a correction for what I said last night. Myles Garrett, all together with all his contracts and his contracts, it totals $300 million, not $400 million. So I just want to make sure I did my calculations. For the first rookie year, he made about 17 to 20 million. The second contract was 5 years, 125, not 4 years, 125. And the contract extension that he got, a new contract that he received from the Cleveland Browns last year, was 4 for 160. Okay, so Myles Garrett still got that paper. Hey, how you doing, Faith? Hey, guess what? I'm going to talk about that subject today. And then also, I do want to report on this for Myles Garrett. And I thought I was going to mention it last night, but I got caught up in that locker room situation. Myles Garrett, if you didn't know, his girlfriend, I don't know how many years they've been dating, she is an winter Olympic medalist. She actually won, I think it was silver this year. Well, guess what? 2 days or 3 days ago, Myles Garrett proposed to her at the Olympics. So Myles Garrett is about to be taken off the market. He's a cutie to me. He's a big old teddy bear cutie to me. But Myles Garrett has gotten engaged. So congratulations to Chloe and Myles, okay? Oh, yeah, we moving forward, Vestos. We moving forward. Okay, hey, remember last night? Let me go ahead and relax. You remember last night? Congratulations. I'm just going to say congratulations, okay? I'm just going to say congratulations. But, hey, I hope the mama love her. If the mama don't love her, I don't know what the ending is going to be, okay? But remember last night, congratulations to them. Hey, TD. Hey, how you doing, TDP 1428? So, remember last night in the live, I brought up that the pay that a lot of players, including Deebo and Joe, they had stated that the reason why these NFL players are getting paid, especially in their rookie contract, because this is the agreement between the NFL and the NFLPA. Well, I was scrolling early this morning on my girl's page, What She Said Sports, and this is another player we need to start watching, especially this upcoming season. He plays for the University of Michigan. His name is Bryce Underwood, and I think this is his second year in college. You know what his contract was? Ooh. For 4 years, $12 million. Now, I don't know if it has been amended or whatever, but 4 years and $12 million. Hold on. Listen to what I said. 4 years and $12 million. Shedeur Sanders is only getting $4.6 million for $1 million. Like, Tony, why are you always bringing up these players' contracts and these numbers and stuff? You know why? Because when they do something wrong or they get into the media, this is the first thing that the media does. All of these players making all this money, they don't know how to act. They don't have no professionalism. I'm going to bring it up because all of these players are getting robbed in the NFL. Hey, how you doing, Justine? Yes, 4 years, $12 million. So that means that Shedeur Sanders would, for the price that they're getting for Shedeur Sanders versus Bryce Underwood, Shedeur Sanders will have to go through 3 contracts. That's 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. 12 years just to get what Bryce Young is getting in 4 years. So the CBC, and I did some homework on that, they just elected a new president last year. So it could be another 2 years or 3 years when the time comes around for the NFLPA elections. So we shall see. But they need to do something about this pay. And I think on an annual basis, they can negotiate pay, health care, health safety. Remember all the stuff I talked about last year? So hopefully this new president coming in, he could get something happening. But the NFL got some issues. So as I stress, anybody that know anybody in college, tell them to stay put, get that money in college. Because Bryce Underwood, he can say, okay, I'm going to play 6 years, I'm going to play these 4 years, and I'm going to get a 2-year extension if the state of Michigan allows it. That means if he getting 12 million for 4 years, and let's say the next extension, he can get another 10. Why does he need to go to the NFL at all? That means in 6 years, he's gotten $24 million. Young man, go ahead and milk that system. Milk them. If the collegiate world is going to pay you that, stay with them, okay? Wow, no wonder. Yes. Congratulations, young man. All right, Vestas, guess what? You're not about to believe what I'm about to report. But guess what? That Cleveland Browns schedule has came out for 2026. The Cleveland, hold on one second. Because what I'm about to tell you, hold on. Hey, listen. Y'all ain't tell me about my hat, y'all. Hold on. Let me tell you about the Cleveland Browns schedule for 2026. And I had to put my shades on for this. Let me call it out. I want to go ahead and list the away games. Let me go ahead. In order, as of now, it's the Bengals, the Buccaneers, the Giants. He'll be going against Jason Dark. The Jags. He'll be reconnecting with Travis Hunter, Simeon Craig, and BJ Green. We've got to watch BJ Green because he knows Shedeur Sanders. They was very close, but he still knows Shedeur Sanders, his movements, what he likes to do, and he's a defensive player. But BJ Green is not going to hurt Shedeur Sanders like that. Then we got the Jets. We got the Rams. Hey, that means Shedeur Sanders will be playing against Lamar Jackson. That's what I'm talking about. The Saints. After the Ravens, they got the Saints. Of course, it's out of order. That means Shedeur Sanders. We will see Shedeur Sanders against Tyler Show. Oh, this season here is about to rock. Let me keep going. Then he has the Steelers, right? Then he has the Titans. Cam Ward, we'll see another matchup, okay? Let me go ahead and move. Thank you, Mud. Thank you. Let me go ahead and move to these home games. So, Vestas, I want y'all to get y'all drinking y'all notes because y'all ain't going to believe what I'm about to say right here. Okay? In order. Bengals. So, none of these games have dates, okay? But in terms of home games, that means the games that will be played in Cleveland, Ohio. You got the Bengals. You got the Colts. I'm going to come back to the third home game. Just wait. Then you got the Raiders. So, hey, I'm going to come back to that. And then you got the Ravens again, Lamar Jackson. The Steelers, for a second time, play them again, and they play for the Texans. So the Raiders, you know that the Raiders are predicted to draft Mendoza. If you don't know, if you never heard me covered in the live, Mendoza is going to follow the same path that Shedeur Sanders did in the draft. He's not going to participate in the combine. He's going to showcase his skills with his own wide receivers pro day. The same thing that Shedeur Sanders did. Let me tell you one thing. People already sniffing on Twitter and YouTube, putting out videos, basically saying the same thing I said a couple days ago. If Shedeur Sanders could get that smoke and that energy, Mendoza better get that same energy. Nothing against the man, but if the NFL had created this narrative and baseline, all players that don't throw in the combine should get the same pressure, right? All right. So one YouTuber was going through the list and the articles in order. because people was like, well, the reason why Shedeur Sanders dropped because he didn't participate in the combine. So let's see what happened to Mendoza. Before the combine, Shedeur Sanders was predicted to go 1, 2, 3, maybe top 9. Then the narratives changed because he didn't participate in the combine. Oh, they said, well, he still would go round 1, 29. That's what we was thinking, right? Of course, that's before the other narratives dropped and the anonymous sources and the anonymous lies and all of these lines on Shedeur Sanders. So what am I saying? Tony Talks Vested Up. What are you saying? I'm saying come April the 23rd this year, the first day of the draft, we better see Mendoza slide down that slope just like Shedeur Sanders. We better see Mendoza slide all the way to the 5th round, because if we don't, we will lock down the internet in protest. We will lock down the internet in protest, because these are the same narratives that work for Shedeur Sanders will be the same narratives that should work right against Mendoza. So we shall see. So Vesters, make sure you write down April the 23rd, 2026. Okay. Let's see here. It's over. Right. Let's see if they keep the same energy. Right. All right. Now, Vesters, let me get back to this third home game. This third home game that I didn't mention on purpose. Guess who Shedeur Sanders? Hold on. Let me move this closer. Guess who Shedeur Sanders is going to face in the third home game this year? Kevin Stefanski is coming back to Cleveland. Atlanta Falcons is traveling to Cleveland to play against Shedeur Sanders in the home that Kevin Stefanski tore up. The Falcons playing Cleveland? Oh, the NFL know exactly what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know what date it is, but you know that's going to be a prime time game. If the Cleveland Browns never got an 8 p.m. game, that's definitely going to be an 8 p.m. game. Kevin Stefanski back in Cleveland playing against Shedeur. And hey, what if Kevin Stefanski does, let's say, trade for Dillon Gabriel? That means Dillon Gabriel and Atlanta Falcons versus Shedeur Sanders and the new Cleveland Brown era? The NFL know exactly what they're doing. They know how to get the money. They know how to get the talks. But once those dates are released, it's going to be pandemonium in NFL, okay? Pandemonium in NFL. I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL offer special prices just for anybody that don't have that NFL package to buy that package in that game just as that one time. I'm trying to tell you. What? Yeah. What? That's Stefanski can keep his job. Atlanta want him done. Well, guess what? Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you, has Kevin Stefanski, what he said when that player by the name of, hold on, I got to pull it up right here. Remember a few weeks ago when they linebacker, he was drafted last year. I think he was drafted last year, maybe 2 years ago, round 1, very high up. His name was James Pierce Jr. Remember that accident he had with his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend in Florida? And he was arrested. Of course, he's lost his NFL career. But let me read, if you don't know what Kevin Stefanski said after this when the reporters asked him about this situation, I'm going to read exactly what Kevin Stefanski said about the situation with James Pierce Jr. This is exactly what he said. James Pierce Jr. needs to be better. He says, I need to be better. We all need to be better. And we will be. And that's on me. We need to fix it, and we will. And that's also on me. Vesters, that was Kevin Stefanski's entire quote. I'm starting to wonder, did Kevin Stefanski even know what happened? No, he don't. And if he did, that means those same little talking narratives he had with the Cleveland Brown press, he's taking that to Atlanta. That's not going to fly. That's all he said. Hey, how you doing, Evelyn? That's all Kevin Stefanski said about that situation right there. Kevin Stefanski is about to be in a rude awakening. I told you, Vesters, in the other live, we thought that Kevin Stefanski got off and was walking into a better situation. It may look like that, but I think Kevin Stefanski is about to be in a rude awakening. He could be one and done too, okay? One and done, Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta. Because that's what you say about your, okay. That's all he had to say? Did he know the young man was locked up? Did he know he committed a felony? Did he think he just got locked up for what, speeding? That's all Kevin Stefanski said, okay? And Evelyn, since you're just coming in the room, hey, what I just broke down was the Cleveland Browns schedule for 2026. And guess what? For the third home game for the Cleveland Browns, Atlanta's going to Cleveland. So Kevin Stefanski will be meeting up with Shedeur Sanders and all these other players. This year, 2026 is about to be on fire. Okay, let's keep going. So we're about to get into that. We're about to get into the serious talks of this live. Investors, I'm not even keeping that long. This has only been 20 minutes and we're running through, okay? All right, so this is one thing that I want to bring up. So I know you seen that thumbnail, and that's why you came in here, right? We good. So the world, the media, and all of those outlets that drug Michael Jackson's name in the ground and the grave before he even passed away, they owe the Jackson family one of the biggest apologies ever. Now, you know what, a few months ago, they said that Michael Jackson's name appeared in the Epstein files. So yes, I'm finna go into that part of the segment, right? The Epstein files. So I did some digging initially because I was a big Michael Jackson fan. I mean, I was in, I think the first allegations, I was in high school. Ooh, I got teased bad. I had to defend myself in high school. And if you was a Michael Jackson fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then in the second allegations, I think I was in the Army. A lot of people didn't know my background, but man, that hit hard in the chest around those second allegations. But I say this to say this. You know how when the Epstein files became public, those 3.5 million pages of documents, and they started calling out Jay-Z and whoever, and you know who, the administration, you know who I'm talking about, right? And they started calling out Michael Jackson. Well, you know, we heard all the details regarding Jay-Z and Diddy and all of these other people. No. You know who I'm talking about? Else the administration. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm waiting for the ball to drop regarding Michael Jackson. Guess what? They used Michael Jackson's name in those headlines recently associated with the Epstein files just to probably get what they call it clout or clicks or somebody to read the articles. But it's a reason why you never heard all the details on why Michael Jackson's name was associated in the Epstein files. Investors, guess what? I did my homework and I'm about to tell you what it's about. The reason why Michael Jackson's name appeared in the Epstein files, and Michael Jackson, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace. The reason why Michael Jackson's name was found in the Epstein files, it was because Epstein or whoever, they was just recording details, little minor details. Michael Jackson's names were recorded in the Epstein files because Epstein had talked to someone about, oh yeah, I got Michael Jackson's DVD. Oh, have you heard Michael Jackson's song? Oh, we need to go get tickets to watch Michael in Vegas along with everybody else in Vegas. It was these type of mentions. That's why the headlines always say Michael Jackson has been associated with the Epstein files. It's only because Epstein had mentioned getting Michael Jackson DVDs or CDs or, you know, going to the concert. Now, you know, if Michael Jackson, okay, Faith, I'm a big Michael Jackson. Yes, it hurt. Yes, they owe him a big apology. Now, so when I first looked at the Epstein files a couple weeks ago, they only had like 4 mentions of Michael Jackson. So I go on there about 2 hours before I do this live. I see 207 entries. I said, well, hold on, what's going on? So I started digging like I always do. I'm starting looking at the dates. I said, hold on, so what? 2013. Michael Jackson passed June 25th, 2009. So I started looking again. You know how Shiloh Sanders, Shiloh. You know how Shiloh Sanders in that last video where he hurt himself on that ski trip, Shiloh Sanders found out on that day that it was two other Shiloh Sanders in their database that had visited that resort. The other Michael Jackson that they're talking about in the Epstein files is a different Michael Jackson. People have the same name. See, this is why they're not telling you how was Michael Jackson associated with Epstein? Now, it was one or two legitimate times where Michael Jackson did meet with Epstein, but he wanted to talk to him. And guess what? His financial advisor was there too. I think he was trying to get some financial advice or some guidance or whatever through Epstein, whoever friends Epstein knew or whatever. And then I think it was another time Michael Jackson was associated with, I saw one of his case files, legal files come up in the Epstein files. That's it. That's how Michael Jackson is associated with the Epstein files. This is what the media, they still love to use Michael Jackson's name as a placeholder for somebody to do a click. You see what I'm saying? But see, I put Michael Jackson on this thumbnail to show the world and to articulate in the universe that Michael Jackson was innocent, as we all knew, and a lot of us knew. Even the FBI, when they raided Neverland, didn't find nothing on Michael Jackson. That's why that second case, that's why he fought it, because he knew it was all lies and everything. So Michael Jackson, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Now they say we've only opened because I think they're releasing the Epstein files in phases. And if that's the case, we've only opened up or been able to see a small portion of the files, if that is the case. But as of now, those 207 entries regarding Michael Jackson was talking about video, CDs, and concert tickets. And the other Michael Jackson was a different Michael Jackson talking about decor and kitchen renovations and all that other stuff. Shiloh, my guy, right. Yeah, the trial was bogus. Trial was not guilty on all 14 what they call them, charges. And don't you think if Michael Jackson was legitimately in those Epstein files, he would have been, that story would have been bigger than the Jay-Z and the Diddy, because all the haters would have been saying, hey, they go to prove we knew it. Nobody ain't really saying nothing about Michael Jackson because that man was innocent. Whew. Okay, Vesters. Now we're about to talk about who was in the Epstein files. And it is proof that he had a deep connection. Let's go ahead and talk about Steve Tisch for the New Giants owner, okay? The ones I reported on a couple of weeks ago, 400 times in the Epstein files, 400 times in the Epstein files with proof of, that T word. Well, remember I said I thought maybe the NFL was going to push that underneath the rugs? Well, Roger Goodell, he has officially said that they're going to do more digging, basically their internal investigation, to see if a formal investigation is needed. So when I first heard that, I said, well, Roger Goodell is not going to do nothing. He's talking about a billionaire. Steve Tisch is worth $1.6 billion. Roger Goodell only make $64 million a year. Tony talks best. Why do you keep talking about these people money? You know why? Because they talk about our players and our community money. So I'm gonna keep harping on the money they make too. But Roger Goodell, they say at the end of Roger Goodell's contract that ends in 2027, he made total $700 million. But what kind of power will he have in terms to do an internal investigation on Steve Tisch? Well, really, it's going to be up to him. But the pressure that's coming on the outside, I've seen articles pushing for a formal investigation, I think federally, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and this morning. So it seems like Steve Tisch will be allegedly will be going to jail, or we have to step down from the New York Giants. So we shall see, okay? So we shall see. Investors. So this is what I really want to seriously talk about today. So a investor brought to my attention, and there are stories alluding to this, okay? And we talked about it with several other owners named that were associated with the Epstein files. More is coming out. But the owner of the Denver Broncos, his name is Rob Walton, okay? Who is Rob Walton? Besides being the owner of the Denver Broncos, he is also the heir to Walmart. Okay. Roger Goodell know exactly who. Yeah, they know. Okay. And I think once the federal government get into this, like, because the UN is pushing this investigation. So Roger Goodell will have to bend that knee. The NFL will have to bend that knee because when the UN comes in, they talking about this is a global crisis and this could be a global investigation. Roger Goodell will have to bend that knee, and anybody else that is found guilty in terms of these Epstein files, Roger Goodell won't have no power. He won't have no power. Well, thank you, sweetie. So going back to going back to Rob Walton. So Rob Walton is the heir of Walmart. Okay. Now I looked up the Epstein files. I did multiple searches. I tried to pull up multiple names. I tried to pull up Walton, Denver Broncos, Robert Walton, Broncos. I did a very extensive search in trying to play with the keywords. Nothing came up. So I did my investigation. I went to AI, right? I went to AI. I'll be honest with you. I went to AI. I was like, hey, why is his name coming up? This is why his name is coming up, okay? There were a lot of Epstein associations that was pushing for Epstein to become friends with Robert Walton. Now, Tony talks vested up. Why? Well, we all know why. If he's the heir of Walmart, that means that he can talk to the president of Walmart, logistic personnel of a Walmart. I mean, think about it. Walmart is global. So hypothetically, if they wanted infrastructure that was already there, that already had all of the logistics in place in terms of transportation, cargo, sea passes, licenses, and everything else, Walmart would be the target. They said that Rob Walton, at this time, based off the information I've seen, the reason why he was a point of contact or a high value target, because the Epstein's associates want to get with him, right, to get access to how Walmart moves those things so they can start doing that big T word, merge right on into Walmart, this special cargo, number such and such. Hey, that's that precious cargo, and you know what I'm talking about. So I will continue to do some digging, but that's all I can find up on Rob Walton. But let's continue on Walmart. All right, so I still did some more digging because I'm like, hold on. Right, If y'all don't know what the T word is in the chat, okay? They're absolutely trying to buy. Yeah. So I think when the UN comes in to do their investigation, they still would talk to Mr. Walton just to see if he was contacted, and if he was, what kind of conversations was had, if any propositions were made, or see what the interest was. I mean, if I was on the UN Council, I would. That'll be my first top 3 questions. Okay, but I will continue to do my digging. Now, let's talk about Walmart, right? So, remember I talked about where, I think it was like last year, even in my area. Now, I know this for true. In my area, there was a young black girl. She was walking into the store in Walmart with her parents or with a mother only. Somebody attempted to snatch her. Of course, that didn't happen because the community and the van took off, right? The community activated. Everybody was hollering, screaming, and the little girl was safe. But I said, okay, well, if Robert Walton is the heir of Walmart, just out of curiosity, let me do a search on Walmart's association with the T word. And let me see if I can pull up some numbers because I like to bring receipts, right? So I asked AI, I said, hey, how many attempted K-word, can I say that word? I don't want to risk it. But how many attempted K-words or K-words happened at Walmart? AI couldn't give me a number. They said it massive numbers. I even read some stories in February of this year, January of this year, all throughout last year. They have been attempted K-words and successful keywords in the Walmart parking lots. I said, I said, well, okay, well, if AI won't give me no number, I said, let me pose this question. I said, well, AI, I said, out of all the businesses across the world, what store is reporting the most attempted keywords or keywords? Walmart. So investors and viewers, if this is happening outside of Walmart, right? Imagine what could have happened if they would have penetrated Rob Walton, offered him the right proposition, and he was able to get those logistics and those pipelines across the world. People could be walking in Walmart and going missing, and come to find out Walmart, believe it or not, Walmart was the one that, and I'm going to get into some serious stuff. Of course, all of this is serious, but I want to tell you something. Walmart was the first company that came up with the word Code Adam. So if you ever in a store and they call Code Adam, just know that whatever store you in, they should be locking down those stores, because that is the code for a missing child in the store. My very first job ever in life, I was working in a grocery store. And this is something that we had to go through in terms of orientation. So anytime, and yes, that code was activated in that grocery store. I think the little child was found in the corner reading a book or magazines. That's when the book and magazine counters was over there in the corner. But anytime you hear a code word, Code Adam, that means a child is missing, right? Now, of course, they don't give description of the child, but just know if you ever hear Code Adam, that's what's going on. Now, have the stores could have changed the codes? I don't know. They may have changed the codes because a lot of PDFs know what that code means. Maybe they have changed the codes. But anytime you see a code going across Walmart, just be on the lookout. It may be a young kid that has been snatched up, okay? And yes, a worker in the warehouse broke the story. Now, one thing I did find about Walmart, okay, I'm going to take that piece of information. Hey, how you doing, Amber? How you doing, Amber? You got to go back through the lie. It's a good lie. But I did read in the Epstein files, or I did a Google. There was a Walmart associate that was found guilty on, I'm gonna say it, the T word of little kids in the store, or pinpointing young kids in the store, or had possession of that CP. That child. Okay. So if that's the case, I will go into it deeper, Miss Faith, and thank you for that. Yeah. So just be careful in Walmart. Be careful. Now, Faith, it's one thing I didn't mention when I responded to you that day in the chat. Believe it or not, my mother and myself, either that day or the day before, we was having a conversation, and I'm starting to see this across Walmart. Right? At least here where I'm at. Remember, it used to be like maybe one door greeter. Then it became two door greeters, one on the side coming in, one on the side coming out. Where I'm at, right? Now you see 4 ladies up in there. Sometimes it's 5 people sitting, by the door. And now we're starting to see like workers just outside pretending like, they're just taking a break or whatever. I think if this is true, I think they have also implemented observers on the outside that may look like they're taking a break, but they're watching the parking lot. And if that's the case, congratulations, Walmart. That's what you need to do. You need to be aggressive, because that's where these snatches are happening, in the parking lot. So if that is true, Walmart, congratulations. If that's not true, Walmart, you need to implement that. Okay, implement them. Pay people just to sit out there in the parking lot in cars, pretend like they're just regular plainclothes people, just to keep these kidnappers down. Because as you know, even though Epstein these files has come out, people are still attempting to K-word, and kids are still missing. Right. Look at Walmart names backward. Martial law. Hey, listen, you going into something that I used to look into before I started my channel. So if I'm going to start talking about that, I'm gonna have to create another channel. But I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know about them tunnels. You hear what I'm saying? Because I may even have to just create a video behind the scenes unlisted and just give y'all the link. At least we can chat back there, and YouTube won't have to worry about, I won't have to worry about losing my channel or losing any type of monetization, because that's just an unlisted, not to the public type of video. But we definitely need to discuss that. But yeah, it's some things now. They just didn't target Walmart just because it's global. They target Walmart for a lot of reasons. The baseline pipelines are already there globally. Absolutely. Now, it's something else about Walmart. Now, I will say this. If Rob Walton, right, if he was bought off or whatever, or solicited, right, and he went along with it, I have seen Walmarts around the world. It's only one country I have not found a Walmart, and I was shocked. Just one. And that was in the Philippines. Now, I've been to China, but I haven't been to China like that. That was just a connection flight, okay? But besides Philippines, I've seen Walmart. Are they still in Germany? They used to be in Germany, or had they renamed them? But Walmart has a footprint in almost every country in the world. I haven't been to Africa yet, the continent of Africa, but I know Walmart, if he ever agreed to that, they would have took this to a whole nother level. We know about the tunnel. Okay. I got to look into that. Okay, I got to look into that. Okay, I got to look into that. I'm going to make a note of that. All right, investors. So guess what? I have went through the whole entire lineup. Yeah, I went into the whole entire lineup in 40 seconds. I'm going to say 40 minutes. I like that. Hold on, let me see if it's something else that I got in my notes, because I put some stuff to the side just in case I got finished early. Hey, what's up, Low Key 777? I haven't seen you before. Hey, so if this is your first time here and you like anything I said, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because you see, this is postseason. And guess what? The NFL, now I know why the NFL, the owners start getting nervous, because since it ain't no games on, we're not distracted. And we're not like those other channels where we just gonna like, oh, who's the next quarterback? Shedeur Sanders can't play. Oh, Shedeur Sanders is not this. See, they let them get distracted. We're not getting distracted over here. We're going behind the scenes, and we're going behind the walls, and we're going to find out exactly what the NFL is. So if your son want to continue to pursue NFL, he has a clear picture of the organization, entertainment business that he's about to go into, all right? And that's why they was able to also get that PPP loans, because they're considered a business, small business. You know why they was considered a small business? You want to know why? Because of those, what is it called? No, I gave the total 1,969 employees. Okay, they didn't count but even if they count the practice squad members, right? We still talking about still under 5,000 employees that play football. They got PPP loans. You see, yes. So we talked about that in another live. So Peyton Manning, yes, I talked about that when the Epstein files came out. He was mentioned in the Epstein files. It's because a lot of Epstein's associates, and I still haven't found that out. They were ordering, or they was requesting Epstein to purchase Peyton Manning jerseys, just the blue and white ones, number 18, and Geno Smith rookie jersey, number 7, green. So I still haven't found out why. Now the colors I can understand. Little boys are associated with blue and green, but the Peyton Manning jerseys, no, I haven't figured that out. But you do know what family is associated with the Giants now, right? And this is not allegedly, but I'm not trying to say that the Manning family has any associations with this. But the Mannings now are associated with the New York Giants. Go figure. But I gotta figure out why they wanted those particular jerseys. But it was Geno Smith jerseys, Jets rookie jerseys, and the Peyton Manning blue and white jerseys. Oh, come on now. You know by now it's preseason. I bet the NFL is like, please, let's start again. Please win the combine. Please, where's the draft? Please, hold on. People is focused on the wrong thing. And all they had to do, you know what the NFL all had to do? Let me wear my glasses at. Hold on. You know what the NFL, all they had to do, and I wouldn't even be on YouTube, but other people like me wouldn't even be on YouTube. We would be talking about other stuff. I'd probably just be right now watching Tasha K or watching Shannon Sharp or whoever I used to watch. All the NFL had to do was do right by Shedeur Sanders. But because they colluded, because they came up with the fake narratives, because they said this, people like me and people like you, we were like, hold on, that's not true. Oh, let's start watching this. And I really think the NFL thought that we was going to fall back like we did with the Colin Kaepernick and just boycott the NFL. I'm pretty sure that's what they thought was going to happen. We said, nah, not again. The NFL is upset that they dirty work and dirty information is getting out here. And guess what? It's postseason. It ain't nothing for us to do. And I'm going to continue to do this. And I'm still going to continue to do this even after the combine, even after the draft. Because guess what? I'm interested, right? I'm interested. Gino, to every Super Bowl, a lot of people go missing. Night at these arenas. What? Using the code 127. Okay, using the colors. 127 people arrested. Okay, I may need to start. You know what? I think I heard about that years ago. Yeah. I need to start looking at that. How many children and adults go missing around the Super Bowl? Because golly, investors, y'all trying to get me in trouble, but y'all do know they say that these Super Bowl halftime shows are, rituals or whatever, rituals. So we shall see. But I'm still going to be, I'm going to be digging in this. The Mennies are the ones that told the Giants to draft Josh. And guess what? Low key, I'm glad you said that. And like I said, I've never seen you before, and maybe you have been here, right? Oh, okay. I already saw it a while ago. Okay, I'm you. Okay, cool. So I did a live on this too, low key. Right when the Epstein files dropped, the very next day I did a live, and I thank God that Shedeur Sanders was not drafted by the Giants, because even though Shedeur Sanders wouldn't have slid in the draft, or they wouldn't have colluded against him, do you know Deion Sanders? So that means Shiloh would have been drafted. Shedeur would have been at the Giants round one. But you still know after this came out, they would have used that to, hey, Shedeur Sanders, are you going to step down? Are you going to continue to play for the Giants? Shiloh Sanders, how you feel about this? Deion Sanders, how you feel about this? But because rejection is God, protection, Shedeur Sanders, all he has to do this year is just play. Let that be Jackson Dart and John Harbaugh, who decided to go there versus come to Cleveland. Let them handle that. It's time they can take that smoking energy. But guess what? Do you see the media harassing them? They want to focus on Shedeur Sanders still can't play. Get out of here, media. But we already know they trying to divert the attention. The Stainers are Coliseums, remember? Yep, I heard about that too. Hey, 4G games. Hey, bro, you rocking. Yes. Back in the day, Roman using, yes. Yep. I don't think it's about the colors I don't think it's about the colors. That's crazy. Well, in Epstein files, it was clear that the orders that came in was for specific jersey colors. Now, it was one lady. The only reason this came out, when the orders kept coming in, it was 2013, right? It was a lady I've seen her name in several places. She was referred to S. Glass, Sarah G. You put the two names together, let's say Sarah Glass. One day she was doing her job, and when she saw all these orders come in, going to the Epstein mansion in Florida, she was the only one that stopped it. She flagged that order because it was all the boy sizes. And if you go to the Epstein files, they only call out the particular colors, right? She flagged it. Well, guess who guess who cleared that transaction to move forward? Who overrode that transaction? It was somebody from the NFL board of directors, Well, guess who was sitting on the NFL board of directors? I went through this also in my live. Believe it or not, Steve Tisch. I'm going to say allegedly he did it. Of course, they don't say who did it, but somebody high up in the board of the NFL board of directors that Stephen Tisch sits on, cleared the transaction, allowed it to move forward, and now we're seeing Steve Tisch name in the Epstein files. Right. People don't understand the power of God. Shedeur Sanders was chosen. Yeah. Let me tell you one thing. The NFL wish they would have just did right, because all of the million people that left the NFL because of the Colin Kaepernick situation, including myself, we all came back in droves. And as they continue to let Shedeur Sanders sit weekly, more and more people started tuning into those games. Even people from other teams even followed this story because they say something is wrong. The NFL, even though Shedeur Sanders, he may feel like, in the good way, I'm going to say in the good way, I want to watch my words carefully. Even though he may feel like, I'm not going to say, I don't want to use that word, S word. I would say Shedeur Sanders was placed in this situation because of God. And God knew that Shedeur Sanders, because of the situation he put him in, everything would be exposed. I'm going to put it like that. Now imagine if Shedeur Sanders did not fall, if we didn't have this narrative or we didn't have this saga following Shedeur Sanders, we wouldn't know about report cards. We wouldn't know about the locker room issues. We wouldn't know about the owners. We wouldn't even care about, who would have thought that NFL owners was in the Epstein files? But because they have kept us glued to the NFL, they did this themselves. We have been glued on the NFL almost a year now because of, and remember, they started them lies about Shedeur Sanders last February. So they the one that created this environment over a year ago. That's why we still on the NFL's neck. Okay, and we still watching them. Very true. I'm trying to tell you, they you said it best. They messed with the wrong one. Yeah, Vestas. All NFL National Freemasons League owns team represent symbols. Yep. I heard that too. Symbols on the all uniforms. Pay attention. I stopped shopping at Walmart Freemason 6 years ago. The Walmart Underground. I'm trying to tell you. And if you don't know, behind every Walmart store, that's where you had them big old cargo trucks. Who's not to say, they snatch them in the parking lot, and when nightfall, they bring them back and put them on those trucks. Hypothetically, allegedly, that's a possibility. We must say it's a possibility. We must recognize and consider there's something about Walmart that attracts these people there in the parking lot to snatch girls. Oh, and guess what, Bestas? So after my live, I did about Touchstone, right? I contacted my family member after that live. And I said, hey, by the way, because she wasn't, remember I said I was going to contact the Board of Education just to see if they service this area, because I don't have kids, but I was going to use this opportunity and this time to contact the Board of Education. I said, but before I cause trouble, right? Because my nickname is Trouble, and everywhere I go, I'm called Trouble. Nice Trouble. I said, but before I do that, let me contact my cousin and have her do just a search on her email, just to see if she ever received any email from Life Touch to purchase any type of pictures or reorders or whatever. She said, well, hold on, let me get my phone. So she does a search. And, she's talking to people in the background, and she got silent. I said, hey, you still with me? She was like, yes. I said, well, hey, what's going on? You ain't saying nothing. She said, Tony. I said, what? She said, I got emails in my inbox from 2 years ago all the way up to 2017. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, well, 2017? I said, but 2017, you was in a different state. She said, well, guess what? I must have ordered some pictures when I was in Kentucky, right? Or Indiana. I think it was Indiana. She said, and they must have serviced my school there because I got requests for ordering the pictures. I said, Lord Jesus. And so I said, well, what's the latest email that you got from Life Touch for this particular area? I think she said 2 years ago or last year. Well, hold on. 2024 hurricane hit. So I don't think they did any pictures. So it had to be early 2025. I said, well, okay. I said, well, it's what is it called? We're in fall break. Monday school is open. You know who I'm gonna call first thing tomorrow morning, the Board of Education, to find out what they're gonna do about it. A lot of schools have canceled taking pictures this year, and thank God. People are still going crazy, and thank God. Because this right here, none of our kids should wind up in a digital archive or a digital catalog being selected for whatever reason, snatches, attempted case, trafficking, or whatever, or just even for a visual pleasure. Not no more. It stops today. It stops. I'm trying to tell you, America, something has hit the atmosphere in America where we're not taking this no more. And you already know, if you're in this community that I represent, you know there's another energy that has taken place. I'm trying to listen. Somebody said it best. Don't go there, Tony Talks. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just know a change is coming. And that change is slowly happening every day. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? They're starting to notice the change. They're starting to look at us in a different regard. Trust me, it's in the atmosphere. So, investors and viewers, you know who you are. I'm trying to tell you, something different is hitting the atmosphere. The frequencies are changing. The earth is even responding in different ways. Just know the power that you have. Okay? And until they kill my channel, I'm going to continue to come on here. Every time I come live, every time I do a video, it's going to be truth and integrity in these videos. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. That's that why I keep on. Yeah, it looks like it's going to take us. We already started. And that Bryce Underwood, that quarterback for the University of Michigan, like I said, Tony Grossi, little Cleveland, whatever his title is, beat writer or whatever. He said one year, he said it on one of the podcasts last year, around this time, that, hey, Shedeur Sanders, last year, he said, well, Shedeur Sanders may be the one they have chosen. Because, they said they do it to at least one player every year. See, this year, I think because of everything that has happened with Shedeur Sanders and people still have attention, their eyes still on the story, I think this year the NFL is relaxing. But my girl, what she said, sports, I have not had an opportunity to watch that video, but she did a video on Bryce Underwood last night. But she put a post out there and she said, hey, we need to watch this story because there's some haters out there and they jealous that this young man got 12 million for 4 years. So I Googled it. I didn't do this right here. I Googled it. Now, this administration, they didn't like the fact that Shedeur Sanders was colluded against and taken advantage of. But the same administration has stated that the University of Michigan should not be playing a quarterback that has not proven themselves. Hold on now. Hold on now. What you doing? So we're going to watch that story. Especially when the season starts back up. I'm definitely going to be watching Bryce Underwood. Yep, Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, any players that needs my attention. I'm definitely going to be bringing it up. But I'm glad she brought that up. And I think the reason why they have an issue with it because I think he may be the highest collegiate quarterback with an NIL deal like that. And you know why if that's the case. But we're going to be watching Bryce Underwood. Bring it. Okay, Tony, you wearing that hat? Here you go, Evelyn. Well, thank you. I'm bending. You saw how I'm bending it up. I have to get me another. I got some more. I love hats. And I love hats. When you get a chance, look and see what God has done. Yes, I did look that up. So 420, I did look that up. So Florida, they have authorized I think any teacher or anybody that would like to donate, because I know he was a prior NFL player. He got in trouble because he was using his own money to support the kids, buy uniforms, take them home, transportation, food, and all that other stuff. Florida had an issue with it. I think he came back into the NFL, if the story is correct. Now, Florida has said I'm going to say teacher, because he was a teacher at that time, can give up to $15,000 of their own money to support the schooling and the student athletes. So congratulations, Teddy Bridgewater. Of course, his reputation was, kind of, it was damaged because of that. And why would they take his kindness? It's like anytime that we do anything out of the ordinary, they always try to I almost said something then. I always try to run a name in the ground. And all we be trying to do is just operate from the kindness of our heart. But you already know who we are. You already know we God's people, okay? They have an issue with everything that we do. Flip the 9 and 6. I'm gonna have to think about that one. 18-9, yeah. Flip the 9 is a 6. 6-7. They don't want us to help our own. I'm gonna speak on that too, Faith. I'll get you a present. No, sir. I don't know who you are, Grill Creeper. I do see that you're a North Carolina fan, and you have been with me since day one, but you ain't bringing that over here. Well, whoa. I can't say that. You're right. I will accept that, Vestas, because Jimmy Horn is on that team. But I had an ex, and we always feuded. I was always on one team. He always was on the Carolina Panthers. So I will accept it. I will I will. But only because Jimmy Horn is there, okay? But I have nothing against the Panthers. Only because when I was a Mike Vick fan, the Carolinas and Panthers would go back and forth, okay? So that's still in my heart. But it is what it is. Let's ride, sis. Yeah. No. Hey, I wish I could block you, but I can't block you. You're day one. But I would block you temporary. You hear what I'm saying? I would block you temporary just because. But man, Vestas, hold on. Let me see if I got any notes. Hey, did y'all see that live last night? It's a lot of Vestas in the comments that saw that live last night. That right there, I'm all in their trash cans. And as long as they make that information public, I'm going to be in their trash cans. Okay, thank you. Thank you for 20 Jenkins. And happy belated birthday. If y'all don't know, she's a Vesta. Her birthday was on the 17th. So I shouted her out last week. So happy belated birthday. But yeah. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I do got something else, Vestas. I can bring this up now. And so when the next time I go live later this week, I don't have to bring up this story here. Let me go ahead and tell you this right here. And you know, I don't mind going back and pulling stuff up because we don't have short-term memory over here. Do y'all remember that Tim Hasselback live? They had me up late that night and I was mad in the dog. I was mad in the dog. I had that hat on, ain't have no makeup on, but you could see I had red in my eyes that night. Let's go ahead and talk about, I want to talk about Tim Hasselback since he came out with that crazy narrative. I want to bring some more light about Tim Hasselback, okay? Tim Hasselback, because they still eating him up on Twitter. So let's talk about the wonderful Tim Hasselback, Tim Hasselback. He went undrafted. He won 0 college awards. He never won nothing. He was legitimately a practice squad QB that never made the Pro Bowl and had to go play football in a whole nother country because he was that bad. That came from a tweet that I found on Twitter. I accidentally cut off the tweeter's name or the ex-person's name that put that out there. But here's his playing history, right? Remember? Because he only threw for, out of his whole 7 and 9 years, he only threw for 1,012 yards. Exactly, 1,012 yards, okay? He played for the Buffalo Bills in 2021. He played for the Ravens in 2021. Philadelphia Eagles in 2022. Berlin Thunder, that's when he went overseas, 2022. Carolina Panthers, 2022. Philadelphia Eagles, 2022. Washington Redskins, 2023 to 2024. The New York Giants, 2025, 2026. And the Arizona Cardinals, 2027. So he is the one that had the nerve to say that Shedeur Sanders this upcoming year shouldn't even be QB1, QB2, or QB3. He shouldn't be on nobody's team. And the only reason that Shedeur Sanders is still on the Cleveland Browns because he has a contract. The devil is a lie. So do you see the hate they have in their heart? This man has nothing on his resume that is impressive. And what Shedeur Sanders did in these 7 games, his stats was better than Tim Hasselbeck's stats in all of these years. So I want Tim Hasselbeck. I want to give him some more shine because I'll never forget what he said about Shedeur Sanders. And then you see after that, when he made that statement, I'll say about the next day or 2 days later, you never heard from Tim again. Tim, he need to stay hidden, okay? He need to stay hidden. I wanted to bring that up, and it was something else. Do y'all want to hear the video about what Deebo&Joe said about the Backpay? Because I found that video. And I'll play it here or I'll save it for later, okay? Happy birthday to you. But yeah, that's it, Vesters. I have covered everything, Vesters. I thank y'all so much. You know what? Let me go ahead and drop that video. Because it took me, I've been looking for this video for three whole entire weeks, and I finally found it. Let me play it. It's only a clip of about a minute and a half. And so what this clip is going to discuss, so if you haven't never seen that video or live that I did about Backpay, I said, based off the conversation they had and based off the research that I did, Shedeur Sanders and all NFL players, if they don't get cut, right, their second contract is where they make the most money. Because the rookie contract, of course, that's good. But if they get their second contract, and let's say they're not in NFL later in the future, at least the money that they make in their second contract, that's that gusto. That's the biggest contract they would have unless they do like a Myles Garrett, get a third contract, and they're able to get more money. I'm going to say that's unique. That's very unique. But the way that Deebo&Joe broke it down, because they were talking about, I think his name it was another player at the Dallas Cowboy that got Backpay. And I was like, what is this Backpay? So this Backpay is, you see how Shedeur Sanders, and we're going to use Shedeur Sanders because that's the textbook for this example. Shedeur Sanders was drafted 5th round, $4.6 million in 4 years. Well, the Backpay is, they're going to take Shedeur Sanders' stats across 3 years because the Cleveland Browns can lock Shedeur Sanders down in the 3rd year. They don't have to wait till the 4th year. And also another team in the 3rd year can come after Shedeur Sanders and offer him that mega second contract, right? But I think the Cleveland Browns is going to do it. Because so we're talking about this time next year, Shedeur Sanders will be going into his 3rd contract. Well, they said, because Shedeur Sanders, they was using another player as an example, but we're going to use Shedeur Sanders as in this example. Because Shedeur Sanders was drafted 5th round, he broke records. He went to the Pro Bowl. He did all these things that first rounders do. So when it comes to the negotiation, Shedeur Sanders, that second contract, that's when he's able to throw his resume on that table and say, yes, because I was drafted the 5th round, but I played like a 1st round. I need what you gave the 1st rounders back there in my initial contract. Give me that money, that Backpay, and based off the playing stats that I provided in my rookie contract and moving forward, I want that money too, based on whatever 1st round is going to get here and in the future. If you don't believe me, here's the video. Let me see him. The Divine 9, AK Pink and Green, Delta Red, Easter Star. Rising. We saw Shedeur go to one. Miss Evelyn. I'm about to take that off onto the other channel, but I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to copy and paste that. Let me go in and play this video right here. Let me turn this down right here. Deebo&Joe.
Just to get some picks, man. Keep the big boys in front of them.
I'm going to go ahead and explain to the people Backpay. So when we say Backpay means I played my first, say, 3 or 4 years.
4 years.
Okay, and I'm on a rookie deal. That rookie deal, if I'm good, or that rookie deal, if you play above it, means that those years that you played at the level of say a 5 guy in the league. Those top 5 guys in the league make a certain amount of money. That certain amount of money over those 3 years, say 3 or 4 years.
4 years.
Okay, and I'm on a rookie deal. That rookie deal, if I'm good, or that rookie deal, if you play above it, means that those years that you played at the level of say top 5 guy in the league. Those top 5 guys in the league make a certain amount of money. That certain amount of money over those 3 years average out to something. So when it come time for their deal, they won't back pay, which you should get your back pay because you played for $2 million a year or $3 million a year, when you played at a level for a guy that should be making $20 million a year. So as soon as I get to that deal, I'm going to need $40, $60 million of back pay, which should be guaranteed, plus what you see my future being another 20 or so. And that's where we at with a nice little 4-year, $92 million contract extension. That's what we talking about when we say back pay.
I could break down the contract for you.
So there you go, Vestas.
And that is
some of you have probably seen that, some of you don't, but that's exactly where I got that from. It is such a thing as back pay. And Shedeur Sanders, when he started negotiate that second contract, you're right. I agree with you. 420, it's going to be up there. It would probably break all NFL records for any player, quarterback, and everybody. I agree with that. Oh, here you go here. So you missed. I knew you were coming. So you missed what I said before. So guess what? I'm hearing that, what's his name? Mendoza. He's not going to participate in the combine. He's going to participate in his school Pro Bowl, pro game or whatever the case, whatever they call it. He's going to take the same avenue that Shedeur Sanders did. So guess what? We're waiting for the combine, and we also waiting for his Pro Bowl stats because he's not going to participate in the Pro Bowl. But we are waiting for it, and I'm telling you and everybody that thinks like you, we are waiting for it, April the 23rd. And if Shedeur, and if Mendoza does not slide to the 5th round, if Mendoza even sniffs that first round, and especially if he get that number 1 pick, whoever that was in Georgia that filed that lawsuit, Jane Doe or John Doe, hundreds of millions of dollars. Listen, let me tell you one thing, investors and viewers. If the NFL want to mess around and allow Mendoza to go number 1, pick 1, and they use that against Shedeur Sanders, just like people with the same type of mentality as motivated, dedicated 98, please, if the NFL want to be stupid, they better drop him. Even if they drop him to the 2nd round, not good enough. Even if they drop him to the 3rd round, not good enough. He better go number 5. And he can't go 144. Whoever goes 144, that 144 slot will, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, that would be the next watch spot in NFL history, because that's where Shedeur Sanders went. But Mendoza, he's already stated that he's not going to participate in the combine. He will be doing pro day with his own wide receivers. The same thing Shedeur Sanders said. We better have the same energy. I better hear the same reports. I better read the same headlines. I better read that he's arrogant. I better read that he's self-centered. I better read all of them things they said about Shedeur Sanders. Okay? I know, but he says, whoever this person is, they say that they are a subscriber. So if they are subscribed, as long as they, quote unquote, remains respectful in the chat, it's all good. Because it's been some days, the only people that talked to me on here was trolls, okay? But as long as he or she remains respectful, I'll let it go. But if they ever get disrespectful, that's when I'm going to cut it, okay? Mendoza just won the national. Listen, that is true. See, this is the thing. See, unlike you that hate Shedeur Sanders, we're not going to take nothing from Mendoza. But we still have to look at the stats, right? Because that's what y'all said, right? Shedeur Sanders, with all he accumulated all those stats over 4 years. Mendoza only had 1 year. And if Shedeur Sanders had that old line, because he had good wide receivers, but if Shedeur Sanders had that old line like Mendoza had, you wouldn't even be able to use that argument against Shedeur Sanders. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? It's the O-line. Deion said it. Even the players in Colorado knew it, that the O-line was the weakest link. Let's talk about it. My cousin Bryce Young, amen. Amen. You're right. Bryce Young is covered. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be watching him like a hawk, okay? They're not going to do the cover. That's about as already saying, but we're going to cut up on the internet. We're going to cut up on the internet. We're going to call the NFL out. We're going to call them out. And it was another video. That's before I went public. Somebody had put something in my chat. It was I'm going to reset information too, where we, as the public, we can file a grievance too. I'm going to go back. I know exactly what video it was. It was the Joe Bettino video I did. It was in early December. Joe Bettino is on the thumbnail, and somebody came down in my chats, a legit 800 number and a website where I could file a grievance. You let it go down the way that it's, if they draft Mendoza, okay? Let it go down the way that they say it's going to go down. Round one, pick one. They would have, they won't be ready for the energy, the attention, the headline, podcasters, Twitter. It would be set on fire again. Let them play with it. Mendoza is better. If you say so. Did you see Shedeur Sanders scrambling the way that he's scrambling? Now, Mendoza was scrambling too, but I'm not going to say, that's your opinion. You have your opinion. The draft process has nothing to do with merits or stats. Exactly. And even Tom Brady said, remember how everybody was saying after Shedeur Sanders went 5th round, except for Skip Bayless, he was mad as hell. Except for what's his other Mel Kiper. Woo! He nutted up on scene. But everybody else said, oh, it doesn't matter where you're drafted. And as you see, it really doesn't matter where you're drafted, because even Shedeur Sanders drafted number 5th round, since they like to throw that up. Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler, right? So you're right. It's not where you drafted. Even Tom Brady was like, it's not really where he's drafted. What really counts is what he's going to do on the field. Let's transition to that. If that is the case, Shedeur Sanders, based off the talent we saw this year and the haters saw, because it was televised, Shedeur Sanders is round 1 talent and should have been round 1 pick. What y'all need to do is pray that Deshaun Watson won't be ready. No. I'm not going to say that about Deshaun Watson. I'm definitely not going to do that, because Deshaun Watson, once again, he's part of our community. We're going to wish him well. Now Deshaun Watson, he is getting paid $40 to $50 million a year. We shall see. If those two have to battle it out, hey, it is what it is. Deshaun Watson, right? He has seniority. But one thing that Shedeur Sanders has on Deshaun Watson, and we need to talk about that now. And guess what? We're going to talk about this. The only thing that Shedeur Sanders have on Deshaun Watson, because Deshaun Watson is a senior, Shedeur Sanders already have the locker room. Shedeur Sanders already had Cleveland by the neck. Shedeur Sanders already have millions of people following him. And Deshaun Watson has not played in 2 to 3 years. He's rusty. I don't care what you do on a video by yourself. Deshaun Watson is rusty, and everybody wants Shedeur Sanders. Now, Shedeur Sanders, being the gentleman that he is, just like he did when it came to Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders is going to take that challenge. So Shedeur Sanders, if Cleveland said, okay, it's going to be a battle between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, QB1 to QB2, Shedeur Sanders is not a stranger to challenges. Anything that came out of this, that we know a lot of good things came out of this, Shedeur Sanders is ready for the challenge. It's Deshaun Watson is the one that should be scared, because Shedeur Sanders, he already has that momentum. He already is locked up in here, and he going to say, all right, coach, let's go. Who I need to throw to? He's already locked in. Deshaun Watson hasn't touched the field in 2 to 3 years. He's rusty, but we shall see. Hold on. The announcer said Mendoza ran like a baby deer. Yeah, He should have been scared. Miami was a beast. Geno jersey number 7 was Geno jersey. Yes. But what was the significance about 7? Now 6, I know what the significance of 6 in their world, right? I can see that 3 of them. I know what that is, but the 7, that's what I had an issue with. Amber, Shedeur talked trash about Tom Brady. Shedeur Sanders did not. No. Shedeur Sanders did not talk trash about Tom Brady. What Tom Brady probably hated, and I don't know if you saw that live I did before where I played the clip where Shedeur Sanders guess who he gave credit to last February with that same ESPN Kevin Clark that Deion Sanders just ate up 2 weeks ago on the week of the Super Bowl. Shedeur Sanders gave all credit to Michael Vick as being his mentor. If Tom Brady got upset about that because he worked out with Shedeur Sanders a couple times, that's on Tom Brady. That's on Tom Brady. But Shedeur Sanders gave all credit to Michael Vick. Shedeur Sanders has never talked trash about anybody. I've never heard him talk trash about. He didn't even talk trash about Dylan Gabriel, and he had all rights to. Did you see LaJohn? Yes. What she said, sports. She put it on the post. See, and that's why Shallow Sanders, he need to go back to Colorado and need to go ahead and get that medical attention and work with that training staff, because that contusion on his leg, that's going to play a big part if he get called for a workout, okay? No, he didn't. Y'all do nothing. Okay, Deshaun Watson, his wife told haters in this photo, Deshaun Watson said Shedeur is the guy for the... Come on! Even Deshaun Watson, no. And guess what? If I was Deshaun Watson, right? And I already got, $230 million. Go ahead. Shedeur, this your second year. Go ahead. Because, if the O-line ain't strong again, we already know what's going to happen. We already know what a weak O-line look like. Deshaun Watson could be sitting on that bench, being Shedeur Sanders' mentor. If another team called him, because guess what? Once his contract over, somebody's going to call for Deshaun Watson. It's just plain and simple. They're going to do it. They're not going to give him as much money. They could give him 1 or 2 years or whatever the case may be, but they're not. Deshaun Watson would never, ever, ever see that money again like that. So for the last year, go ahead. I'll be your mentor. I'm going to work out with you. Go ahead, Shedeur Sanders, do this. Sit on the bench and, hey, you got your money, right? Let's see. Cleveland Browns. Watson was 10 times better than, okay. Come through. The Cleveland Browns organization probably won't be playing Deshaun Watson. He's already been. Yeah. Sure. And if they say, okay, Deshaun Watson, we're going to give you an opportunity to prove yourself because according to you, you have met all the medical requirements. You look healthy. We're going to let you compete. They can't deny him. He's on contract, right? They can't deny it. But if I was Deshaun Watson, hey, go ahead. If I was Deshaun Watson, knowing that everything that Shedeur Sanders went through, hey, Coach Todd Monken, let me put you to the side. Okay, Todd, I understand. Yep, I'm on contract. I'm good. I'm good. But you know what? I'm going to volunteer to be QB2. Guess what? Give it to Shedeur Sanders. He deserves it. Look how he ended the year, his first year, rookie, and he's a Pro Bowler. Go ahead and let Shedeur Sanders start for this year. And Deshaun Watson, guess what? I'm comfortable sitting here with quarterback number 2. If anything happened, I got you, coach. Go ahead and get Shedeur Sanders ready because guess what? He's the favorite. If Watson did that, much respect to you, Deshaun. Tim Hasselbeck is trash. Was trash and is trash. Wherever he came from, he should have went back there. He should have went. He never should have came out. He never should have came. Tim Hasselbeck, he made a fool of himself when he made that statement. And he did that after the Pro Bowl. Stupid. Yeah, he did that after the Pro Bowl. I reported on that after the Pro Bowl. You stupid, man. Watson will be okay. Don't give the troll. You know what? As I stated, low key 777. On some days, it was the haters that gave me feedback. So I have to let them breathe because they gave me, when the chats was quiet, it was them. They actually sharpens me, as you see. They sharpens me. But as long as they don't get disrespectful, I don't mind. Who cares if Watson stuff? he needs to be doing something for that point. Exactly. Like Dylan Gabriel, right? We kept saying that. Well, hold on. Dylan Gabriel shouldn't be sitting on that bench. This is before he started. No, put him out there. Remember, because in the beginning, Kevin Stefanski had Dylan Gabriel place after Joe Flacco, Pickens, and Dylan Gabriel was 3. Kevin Stefanski wouldn't put him out there because remember, Dylan Gabriel, we want to rest him. We want to let him see, how the NFL sit on the bench and learn something. No, put him out there. Put him out there. And eventually, as you see, Andrew Berry got his wish. Amen. Amen. Okay. Watson is going to sit on the bench. Hey, that's for the team to decide. I'm okay with either. You know why? Because Deshaun Watson, he's going to have that pressure. The same pressure that Dylan Gabriel had, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco. Shedeur Sanders already won the spot for this year. But if they want a competition, as I stated, Shedeur Sanders is already ready. Shedeur Sanders is already ready for the competition. All last year did for Shedeur Sanders is make him better mentally and physically. It is what it is. Deshaun Watson is rusty. Okay. The troll, he or she, whoever it is, they don't been in the last 3 or 4 lives. It's all good. It's okay. Because that's what I'm saying. It makes me sharper because it lets me know that these people are still out here with these crazy narratives, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Oh, and as y'all could tell, if I was on work travel this week, I would already be on the road. I'm not on work travel this week, so I would be able to come back Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All throughout those days I called out during the combine, I'm going to be able to come back and give you my opinion. So we're going to be able to talk this week here, Vestals, because I'm not on work travel, okay? Hey, hater, even the NFL knows Shedeur is him. Thank you. So the hater must not know, as I broke it down in another live, if Shedeur Sanders is trash, why did 40% in terms of the vote for the Pro Bowl, 40% of the vote came from the owners. 40% of the vote came for the players, all active players, and 20% of the Pro Bowl vote came from the fans. So it's only people like that think Shedeur Sanders is trash. Even the NFL is trying to make it right, okay? Well, why build around Deshaun for 1 year? Exactly. These are crazy hater narratives. And guess what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Right. Why would the Cleveland Browns do that? You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Amber, because if the Cleveland Browns had any thoughts of or any notions of keeping Deshaun Watson any longer, they would have already renewed a contract, at least for game of 1 year extension or whatever. Now, Joe and Deebo and Cam Newton and Shannon Sharp, all the people that's been in NFL, they said a trade and a cut can happen anytime. Oh, I'm glad you brought it up. I got to remember that about the veteran, about the cut, Deshaun Watson cut. No, Denzel Ward cut. So I think if Deshaun Watson had any future in Cleveland, they would have already offered him a deal, but we shall see, especially after the combine, what they do, especially after April. They say, NFL could do any type of contract agreements anytime they want to. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But you're right. If he only has 1 more year on contract, why build around him if you're not going to keep him? But I know for sure who they are going to keep. And Andrew Berry already said that Shedeur Sanders is going to start next year. Andrew Berry already said this when the day, not even 24 hours after Kevin Stefanski got fired, Andrew Berry said that Shedeur Sanders is going to start. Amen. But I like entertaining the trolls sometimes. Shedeur will receive the Johnny. They don't want to give. Yes, he did. They don't never bring that up now. And they don't even bring it up that Shedeur Sanders was a finalist, a Heisman finalist. But nobody brings up that Golden Arm Award. Nobody brings that up. Nobody brings up the accuracy that he had in college, the most accurate collegiate quarterback in history. I'm going to say in history. If they bias and make up lies, if that's a lie, that's my truth. Shedeur Sanders is the most accurate quarterback in history. Now, he does have that title. I just don't know if it's in that division or across the whole entire collegiate football world. But Shedeur Sanders was dangerous. Even Mary Cabot said he was dangerous. And you saw how her narrative changed, just short. Even the haters saw how accurate he was. They just want something to say. So if Shedeur Sanders start week 1, I'm sorry. If Shedeur Sanders, let me ask you something. Would you like me to delete my channel? That is crazy. The answer to your question is no. Why would I delete my channel? If anything, I would have deleted my channel when Shedeur Sanders started playing. Why would I delete my channel? Actually, that's a compliment. That's a compliment. That's like, no. The answer is no. The only way I'm going to leave if YouTube said, Tony Talks Vested Up, after 3 strikes you out. Until then, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Actually, I'm going to get bigger, powerful, and better. Right now, I'm just walking to the goal line. But wait, you just wait. Okay? He ain't going to leave my channel. He goes, no, I'm not going to leave my channel. What? It's a you got an answer too, right? Wow. Shedeur said this weird. Okay, so Shedeur, they need an O-line. So Faith, Andrew Barry had said in that same conference, right, after Kevin Stefanski fired, he said that the main objective is O-line. He also said they had money. I think Jimmy Haslam went into his pocket. And I need to look to see if these owners can actually go in their own pocket and pull out some money. Of course, they'll probably get fined, but Andrew Barry said their focus is the O-line. I told Andrew Barry, I said, if any undrafted free agent come to your door knocking and say, hey, I want to help protect Shedeur Sanders, at least give them a workout. Don't turn down no O-lines because you see how important they are. If you didn't watch that video, I think you was here, Faith, for the combine. Out of the 2 largest category in the combine was O-line and it was the D-line. The largest number of collegiate students coming out there for the combine this week is the O-line and the D-line. And I love it. And I'm going to be here just writing notes. Hey, haters, Tom Brady really the one that showed his true colors? If anything, he talked about Shedeur Sanders. Y'all remember what Skip Bayless had said that Tom Brady, the reason why Shedeur Sanders had dropped, because Tom Brady had said something about Shedeur Sanders, and Tom Brady got upset and cussed out Skip Bayless. Yeah, Tom Brady is the one that said something about Shedeur Sanders. And Tom Brady, do y'all know that before Shedeur Sanders came in, and they did it, I think, really to mark Shedeur Sanders, but it actually worked out in his favor. Y'all already know that script. You already know that Bible scripture, okay? You know that scripture. But have y'all noticed that before Shedeur Sanders came in, you were just called the number 12 and people automatically assumed that it was Tom Brady. But because Shedeur Sanders and his power and his covering and his blessings, Tom Brady who? You don't even hear people talk about Tom Brady, number 12 no more. That's Shedeur Sanders' number for now on. And any other player that Shedeur Sanders is the new owner of 12. That's all I'm trying to say. At least have it. Thank you. Even they know that too. And a lot of people know that. A lot of people are pushing for the NFL and for all of these third parties that come up with metrics to come up with a new category for if you're going to call it an interception. A true interception should be different from an interception where it comes off the hands of the wide receiver and then becomes an interception. A lot of people is actually pushing for that new category. So we shall see. Shedeur probably won't even. Dang. We shall see. Well, Shedeur is already on social platforms with his own channel. Why'd you be so concerned with him? That's what I don't get. I told this same viewer of Vesta, there's so many other channels out there, all that covers all the remaining 31 teams. Go find some other platform to chat on, to support 1,968 other players. But he just sticks here. I guess he just like it. I don't know. He or she just likes it. I don't know. Hey, how you doing? Blind, beautiful, big time. I like it. Blind, beautiful, big. You must be new. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Tony Talks Vested Up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'm almost, I think last night, I'm only about 100 away from 1,000 subscribers. And then YouTube will unleash me out the sandbox. And after that community, we rolling. After that community, we're going to roll. You hear what I'm saying? And once YouTube unleash me, what? Talk about representation. What? You mean to tell me that somebody could talk about football that look like me and that's a woman or this part of the community? Yes, Tony Talks Vested Up. And believe it or not, investors, there are so many of us. I was surprised. I said, well, why ain't never heard about this channel? Why ain't never heard about this channel? How can I say this? The algorithm controls what you see. So if you under my channel, if you haven't selected all notifications, sometimes you don't even know that I made a video or go live if you don't select all under the notifications. So, but YouTube, the big A rhythm, they decide who video they push and who you see. So there's some people that never seen me before, and it is what it is. So we got to fight that. Okay, now the college students are staying in college. Yes, the pipeline is down. Yes, but hey to you, Blind Beauty, big time. He's Amber, the college quarterbacks all turned off by Shedeur. Yes, now Amber, I did count. I actually counted. I think I got a total of, because some quarterbacks did come out. They are going to the combine. If they go through or not, I don't know. But the number, let's say the number was between 16 and 20, but it's not like it used to be. That number has dwindled. So maybe these are college player quarterbacks that don't have those massive NIL deals, and their dream is to go to the NFL because they see where a lot of quarterbacks are shying away from the NFL because of the Shedeur Sanders snub, and maybe they see that this is their only opportunity to maybe get their foot in the door. But I'm gonna say 15 to 20 of them did accept the combine. If they go to show up or not, I don't know. But you're right, a lot has. The big ones has. The big, except for Carson Beck, and maybe another reason they accepted the combine invite because they're not eligible no more to play in college. And if they want to continue to play football, they have to move to the NFL. Stick to the fact, nosy haters. Shedeur Sanders is franchise. Every day, I just can't wait to see what Todd Monken has been waiting to do to Shedeur and with Shedeur for 5 years in the making. We shall see. And like I said before, even though Todd Monken, we're happy that you're here. We're gonna be watching you too. No more slick stuff. We already know. We already locked in. We have eagle eyes on this topic moving forward. All right, Todd Monken. Go tell. Thank you. Go to Mendel. Whoever his. Yeah, go to Mendel's channel. They out there. Amber. They're going to have to deal with Shedeur Sanders this year. I'm suspicious. Well, we shall see. But you know what? It's all going to tell. And this is why my boy Life in Football had stated, I think about a month ago, March. March is known for March Madness. I'm just finding out for the NFL also. Of course, you know, March Madness is mostly associated with the basketball. But March Madness in the NFL, they be making big moves too. Don't forget, in March, Shedeur Sanders is supposed to get that incentive bonus because he's performed at a PP3 level. He's supposed to be getting money. All these teams, they get paid from the broadcasting channels. I think last year, did Shedeur bust that or bust him out? Or was it Stephen A. Smith? Each team, because of the broadcasting, each team got $450 million from NBC and all these other channels that broadcast the game. So these billionaires, they making money, hand over money, but won't play these players on a rookie contract more than what the NFL. The first thing that his name is Lloyd Howell. He is the new NFL PA director, Players Associate Director. The first thing, if they got time to start negotiating for 2026, the CBA for 2026, the first thing he should do is automatically increase these pays. Whatever, on an annual basis, whatever the highest quarterback in college is getting paid, by default, that should be what players are getting paid in the NFL. Too easy. If not, the NFL got an issue, and they already see they got issues because players are staying in college. Go tell it to Carson Beck. I'm about to look into that. I didn't know that. Oh, he was at Georgia. But see, I think he went, I got to research that. because maybe Todd Monken was already back with the Ravens before Carson Beck played at Georgia. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna do my homework on that one. Yes, Colin. Yes, Colin Moore. I love Colin. But those are gonna look. Listen. Hey, remember I said they are playing the Raiders this year. That is a home game, so we shall see what Mendoza does against Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. That game is going down in Cleveland, Ohio this year. We just don't have the dates. So, motivated, dedicated 98, you're going to get your chance to either stand up in the paint or go to the corner because the Raiders are coming to Shedeur Sanders' house. And we should see that's going to be another game that the NFL, they should bank on it. Just bank on it. I'm excited. Let's see here. Colin Moore legit. Yes. I've been watching Colin since Deion Sanders and all them got to Colorado. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers when Deion Sanders and everybody went to the University of Colorado. Plantation politics, yep. That's why they keep them locker rooms like that. That's why they underpay them on purpose. That's why the taxes is so outrageous for the NFL players. You know we've been going through the report cards. You right. They got all these billions. They get all this money. You underplaying these players. You're not looking out for them for the Super Bowl. That should be. Look, I know everybody got to pay taxes, right? But you should look out for your players. If you know California has these outrageous tax laws, I would, until California amend them for at least for the Super Bowl, put the Super Bowl out of California. They will fall to their knees too. They'll negotiate. California. March Madness for the combine. Monkey needs to not try the Kevin. That's why we're watching Todd Monken too. Until he shows us otherwise. We're clapping for him, but we're also watching, okay? And the way that he gave Shedeur Sanders that genuine, I read body language a lot. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all do. That was genuine to me. But who's not to say after that happened, somebody pull him to the side and say, hey, this is how it's really going to go. That's why we still going to be watching. We're not blind. We're not naive. We're not shallow. We're going to be watching. We're going to be watching. Yes, I like Calvin too. Okay, The fan base got their eyes on him. Yes. Oh, we ain't going away just because Shedeur Sanders is QB1. If that was the case, we would have been fouled off and changed our tune. We getting deep in the mud. We don't put on some mud boots, and we actually digging through trash right now because we need to see exactly moving forward, what's happened. Let Cleveland go around in them circles. Don't you see the conversation? They still going around in circles. Like that people go give them, they gonna hurt themselves mentally. Like they already spazzing out because we're not letting up on that. We're not letting up on them. They're not going to continue this in the postseason. And guess what? I feel like if they working hard in the postseason, I'm gonna work harder in the postseason. They crazy. Right, Mr. Yeah, Slum Lords. I can't wait for Now I will say this because of my location, I would love for the Cleveland to come here. Oh my gosh, I would be trying to buy a ticket now, and I don't even know what date it is. But for Kevin Spacey to go home and get that loss there, I love that. Oh, that would be beautiful. You're right. I want Kevin Stefanski for the first time to go there and get beat up. And they don't have a quarterback. Remember, Michael Penix is still recovering, right? It's talks of Dylan Gabriel going there, and it's talks of Tua going there. I don't think none of them can't beat Shedeur Sanders. Now, it would be a good battle between Michael Penix to play against Shedeur Sanders. I would want that talent because Michael Penix, he was drafted round 1, number, I'm going to say 9 or 15 or 19. And Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur Sanders is round 1. He just got picked in round 5, but he's round 1 talent. I would love to see that. But and Michael Penix may be healthy by the time that Cleveland plays Atlanta. But you got to remember, he's torn his ACL 3 times. He has to be careful not to tear that again. We definitely locked in. We going hard in the paint. I'm trying to tell you, 420. All right, Vestas. These haters forget Monkey wants payback. Oh, let me read this one now. These haters forget Monkey wants payback on the NFL for when they played him after he won 2 national championships with them dogs, and Baltimore played him out. Oh, I didn't know that. I may have to look into that. I may have to look into that. Thank you for that. We shall see. Andrew Barry seemed like he's logged in. I haven't heard nothing. Jimmy has him. He has made a comments here and there, but Andrew Barry has mostly been. Let me take a picture of that. Andrew Barry has mostly been being the spokesperson for the team. So we shall see. But March is going to tell everything how they're going to move regarding wide receivers, how they remove tight ends because Njoku is gone. Wide receivers, especially the O-lines. I got my notes ready for the O-lines. I'm going to compare my notes with what elite, not just any O-line, what elite O-line that's getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars in the NFL now. I'm going to compare their stats with these college kids, with these kids coming out of college. They wingspan, they 40s, they whatever those metrics are. I'm going to be writing all that down because we just ain't going to pick anybody just to be an O-line member. We ain't going to go that route. O-line, wide receivers, because Jerry Jeudy will be replaced. We're going to get some more in-depth players in. And tight ends. Oh, let me tell you one thing. If you have a young son, right, and let's just say based on all of this, they still want to go to the NFL. They definitely want to go to college because that's where the money is, right? That's the new money. That's that nouveau riche. And let's just say they don't know what position to play. So let's say it's still a young player. They're still developing. Especially if they got the body types. If they got the body types, the height, and the weight and the build, of course, O-line. Because I think these O-line members that's coming out of these college, they finna get banked just like the quarterback because now everybody see how important it is. So if your son is huge, big body, hey, push him to O-line. Now, based off what I know, if they got a nice little weight on them, but they got some speed, but they're not as fast as a wide receiver, but they can actually catch that ball like a wide receiver, and they have a little height on them because running backs are more small in stature and they run through, right? Like the Kenneth Walker. That's why he was so dangerous in the Super Bowl. But if they got some height, a little weight, and a little speed, tell them to go tight end. Now, it's a lot of things. It's nothing that I agree with Kevin Stefanski, but now I know why Kevin Stefanski loved it tight ends. You can do so much with a tight end, and they getting that money too. So Cleveland Browns will be looking for tight ends, wide receivers, and O-lines. Because now with David Njoku is gone, we're gonna need another dual. We need another dual threat tight end to play opposite of Fannin. Let's not forget Fannin is here now. I love Fannin. I love tight ends. I love tight ends. Maybe Atlanta players and fans keep the pressure on Stefanski. You know what? Atlanta better show out. The first time they sniffed something wrong on Kevin Stefanski, I think they already went crazy when Atlanta hired him. And did you know that Kevin Stefanski got hired before John Harbaugh? We already knew something was in the water. But Atlanta, I know Atlanta's going to show out if Kevin Stefanski do anything crazy. And they probably going to fall out if Dylan Gabriel is traded. I'm trying to tell you, I know Atlanta. I know Georgia is in the air. Okay? Exactly, no sabotaging dirt guys. Jerry Jeudy. Yeah. Minus G. What you mean by that, Amber? Is Evelyn still in the room? Amber, what you mean by that comment? Is Jerry Jeudy still on the team? Oh, Vestas, hold on. My battery going low. 1 second. Let me do a plug in. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's see here. Send DG to his daddy. That's what we all saying, but we shall see. Don't y'all know we still ain't heard nothing since Dylan Gabriel, since Shedeur Sanders started playing against the Raiders game. We ain't seen Dylan Gabriel. We ain't heard from Dylan Gabriel. I don't know if his girlfriend still got the tweets up. I don't know. I don't even, did Dylan Gabriel actually exist? Because who knows? They could have had a clone out there or something. How you don't hear from, never mind. Let me keep going. Just never mind. What I thought they got rid of. No, because Jerry Jeudy, he just extended his contract in 2024. So Jerry Jeudy still got about 2 more years. He had 2024, 2025. He has, now Jerry Jeudy does have 1 more year. I found this out a couple of days ago. He has 1 more year on his contract. So I will be watching out for the wide receivers. And if you don't know this, Deion Sanders, he tweeted out Tyson Jordan probably about 2 days ago. He will be at the combine. I will be watching him because he actually played with Shedeur Sanders. I think the first year that they were there. And then he went to the Arizona Sun Devils or whatever. So yeah, Deion Sanders did tweet out Jordan Tyson. So that's how Deion Sanders, that's how I know what type of heart that he has. Even though that young man hit the portal in the second year that Deion Sanders was there, Deion Sanders still is trying to help these young men achieve their goals. So he's actually pushing them to get drafted. No, unless something changes. Oh, let's talk about that, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. So deebo&joe had said, so remember the Denzel Ward rumor I talked about maybe a couple days ago, and I was like, this got to be wrong. Maybe this is just a rumor, or they're just coming up with a clickbait or whatever the case may be. So deebo&joe said this, and I can't take what they say with a grain of salt because they're veterans. So they said the reason why these trades talk, even with some of their best players on the team, they leverage that player to reduce the cap size to bring in other players to take those positions. So you already know the cap size for Cleveland is already like in financial strain. Let's say if Ward was getting paid, I don't know, 20, 30 million or 40 million a year, they may trade him. That means that Cleveland, even though we have an attachment to these players, these owners and general managers, they see them as business assets. I'm going to trade you. That means that I'm going to get 40 million back in cash. That means instead of for what I got for you for 40 million, I can bring in some young, hungry dogs, right? Especially on rookie contracts or undrafted free agent contracts that could be for 1 year. And guess what? I can have 3 and 4 other players in other roles that I need, and I can still get the job done. So we shall see. But Joe and Deebo said that. I said, oh, then, and Denzel Ward is not the only top elite quarterback where rumors are talking about being traded. They need the cap space. Interesting. People are monkeying. Yeah, we shall see. Hold on, there's a walk on. I know what you're talking about, Amber. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh no, he's not going to work out for this team. Jerry Jeudy should be scared. Just like they're going to use the stats, Shedeur Sanders stats to get him more money. Jerry Jeudy, because he messed up his stats this year, that's going to come back and hurt him in terms of going to another team because they're not going to trust him. And they're going to say, you can't catch the balls. Jerry Jeudy has hurt himself by doing Kevin Stefanski's work. He messed up his stats. And guess what? Now when he goes shopping to the other teams with his resume, they're going to remember. They're going to remember that year, and they're going to look at that resume. And they're going to say, well, what happened in 2025? Jerry Jeudy is not going to say, well, Kevin Stefanski made me do that. He's not going to say that. He's not going to say that. He's got to take that L. I wish they would have sent Miss Jerry Jeudy engaged. We shall see. So March, we're like a week away. March, it's gonna happen, and we'll know exactly when the Cleveland Browns what direction they're gonna go. Miss Man, okay, Vestas. Woo, Vestas, I love this. Hey, thank you so much, Vestas. I enjoy engaging with you. If you want to continue to put stuff in the chat, I'm not going to kill the live. Be you, do you, put whatever you want to put in there. But I will say this, Vestas, and some viewers may want to leave now. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday with me. We have covered a lot of stuff. Now you know more information about how these players are moving behind the scenes, how the NFL is moving behind the scenes, how the NFLPA CBA how it structures and what they say in there regarding the health, safety. There's no sanitation laws. So investors and viewers, thank you so much. If you have to leave, thank you so much for catching this live, and thank you for your support. And if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're already here, please don't forget to like the video so YouTube does not kill the video. Yeah, I know that's another discussion too. I may have to do an unlisted live to tell y'all exactly what I have been going through, because YouTube is, whoo, Miss Ma'am. So investors, I give it one more minute, investors. Until next time, and I'm going to wait here, but I got to say this for the ones that are leaving. Until next time, make sure you get your notes, your drink, and your vest, because we stay vested up over here. I'm trying to tell you. Still, how his tenure ended with the Cleveland Browns. What? Oh, okay. I'm going to stay around again, investors. So thank you again, investors. Okay, when I'm going to come back? Probably come back Tuesday. If not Tuesday, definitely Thursday, because that'll be the first day, the official first day of the Cleveland Browns when they actually out on the field. So we shall see, Vestas. We shall see. I'm excited. I'm excited about 26. I'm excited about the combine, because now also for the ones that are still here, we get to see exactly what they look for in terms of these players. So if you have young sons, nephews, brothers that are interested in playing football, at least on a collegiate level, you know exactly what type of skills they need. Weight, the height, the speed, the wingspan, all that stuff comes into play. We will continue to watch. Now I know why these players are getting injured. Yes. And I did look up the Cleveland Browns training staff. They gave them a C. They did give them a C. I looked that up. So yeah, they're understaffed it. I'm not gonna say incompetent, but based off the injuries this year we saw in the Cleveland Browns, they understaffed. I'm going to say incompetent, okay, allegedly. We will continue, try to tell you. But I will be looking that up, Faith, regarding the Walmart employee. I'm going to be looking that up. The ring, Everybody else brought us some, hold on. I got that picture. Robert Walton, put him back down. I'm gonna keep him on my watch list. Exactly, that's how they don't think the Raiders gonna. See, somebody else had put out there in their YouTube channel on that latest video when he said, because a lot of people's echoing what I'm saying. Mendoza better get the same heat. He better get the same energy. Nothing against the man, because remember they said, "Oh, Shedeur Sanders can't take it personal." It's nothing against Shedeur Sanders, but it was against Shedeur Sanders. So Mendoza, they said that the reason why he won't showcase his skills on the combine because he don't want to show his vulnerabilities and his weakness. Well, if that is true or not, once he get in the NFL, just like Shedeur Sanders had to learn, just like Dylan Gabriel had to learn, just like Cam Ward had to learn, just like any rookie had to learn, the NFL is a totally different beast. Your weakness is going to come out. Your strength's going to come out. Your mental capacity, how you process stuff is going to come out, right? And you may even get lied on, just like the Shedeur Sanders, so be ready for anything. But if he wants to hide his weaknesses, once they start playing, we shall see, especially by week 1. Well, you know, they're probably going to not let him play in the preseason game 1, 2, or 3. But week 1, we'll see his weaknesses. But everybody's talking about on Twitter already. Mendoza better slide. Baker Mayfield gangster. Yes. Oh, Baker Mayfield was eating up Kevin Stefanski on Shannon Sharp nightcap. When Shedeur Sanders, before Shedeur Sanders started playing, and after Shedeur Sanders started playing, I heard it was bad blood between them two. He even made Baker Mayfield play when he was hurt. It's so much blood. And do you know that the Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons, I think they play twice a year also because they're in the same division. Baker Mayfield is going to rain on Kevin Stefanski, especially if he don't get his quarterback established and Michael Penix is not hurt. Because, Baker Mayfield is going to let it rain. Exactly, Mayfield. Yes, Baker Mayfield is is foaming at the mouth. He cannot wait. Dang, what a dates ain't been released, but that's something else we're going to keep out on the lookout for when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play Atlanta. But Baker Mayfield, now that they're in the same region, the same division, he's foaming at the mouth. He's ready to get at Kevin Stefanski. Oh my gosh, and I'm here for it too. Remember when Will Howard won the national championship? He got to come out and look terrible. Yes, I think Will Howard was drafted. Oh gosh, I'm about to look that up while I'm talking. That's why Mendoza chose not to throw. Let me tell you one thing. And do you know Tyler Shobe? He went to the combine. Oh Lord, y'all saw them throws that he was making and went 2. He went what? No, he went round 1. No, Tyler Shobe went round 2 in the low 30s. Let me see. Will Howard. When was he drafted? Draft. Yeah, Will Howard. Yeah. He went to round 6. Yeah, so Mendoza is afraid to actually show. So thank you for bringing that up, 420 Jenkins. Go ahead, 420. We can rock together. Yeah, Will Howard. Yeah, he probably made a mistake. Now he probably wishing he didn't go out there and show the scouts exactly what he can do. Because, yeah, he got drafted 6th round, 185. Actually, based off that number in that round, he got drafted after Jimmy Horn and LeJohntay Wester because they got drafted 6th round, 181, and I think 183 or 184. So, yeah, Will Howard, yeah. And he played for Ohio. Transferred from Kansas State. Yeah, so there it is. Hey, thank you so much, Vestas. Like I said, I give it another 30 seconds, but thank you. This has been a wonderful live, and thank you for all that y'all have done. And we had that chat going today, and I hope if I missed your chat, I'm so sorry. I tried to catch them, but next time, I definitely make sure I look out for your chat, okay? Well, that's all they wanted. Well, they all want to be that guy. Come on. They all want to be that guy until it's time to be that guy. But the only player that accepted that challenge, and we all know who that is, Shedeur Sanders. And I thank Shiloh Sanders. If Shiloh Sanders get an opportunity to work out as an undrafted free agent, even if they give him for 1 year, because I gave you Shiloh Sanders' height, his weight, and his speed. Somebody should at least offer him 1 year undrafted free agency, right? Just to see what he can do. Shiloh Sanders is going to meet that challenge. He would say, okay, you want me to be that guy? I'm going to show you to be the guy. I'm just afraid whoever Shiloh hits, because he has pent up frustration and sadness and he wants to prove a point. I feel sorry for the person that gets hit by Shiloh because he's going to take their breath away. Watch and see. Shiloh Sanders would knock his own self out just to get another player. He broke his own forearm. Exactly. The combine is supposed to this player because the people hyped him up. Okay. And where has motivated, dedicated 98 disappeared like Dylan Gabriel? Because why he's not in the chat no more when we started speaking facts? He gone too. He or she gone too. He gone. Headache Gang, CEO. Come on, you got it. And I'm still waiting for an update. I may have to do an update before my next live just to see if Shiloh Sanders posted anything regarding that contusion. But if he goes back to Colorado, just like LeJohntay Wester, and I love LeJohntay Wester and his girlfriend, fiance, Shiloh Sanders, I'm pretty sure Deion Sanders already told him, get your butt home, fly home. Already got the staff waiting by, just land and we come to get you. And they finna start working on you, Shiloh Sanders. And I'm pretty sure he gave him another headache. Deion Sanders is probably ripping him up. Now, between us, Vestas, when I saw Shedeur Sanders with that emoji on Twitter, between us, I really thought, because I didn't have no context at the time, and I'm just really assuming that's what it was about Rondale Moore. And I really think that's what it is. But before I found out that information about Rondale Moore, I really thought that Shedeur Sanders was probably alluding to Shiloh Sanders not being able to play in the NFL this year because of his knee. So thank God that wasn't the case. I don't think that was the case, but I was scared when Shedeur Sanders dropped that emoji because I'm like, oh, Lord, Shiloh Sanders unhurt himself. He can't play. He can't walk. He can't run. But I need to get a status out on Shiloh. Yeah, I want to see Shiloh play. I want to see Shiloh play, but he got to get that need right because I know. Let me see here. Okay, hold on. So let me do some thinking, investors. Then I'm gonna let you go. Okay. So even if they, okay, free agent. So this is what we do know. Free agency, early negotiations is March the 9th. This is those March Madness dates we need to start watching for. Early negotiations, March the 9th. Nobody can't sign until March the 11th. So let's just say a team, Cleveland Browns or any other team, Cleveland Browns, I'm putting that in the atmosphere, says, okay, we're going to give Shiloh Sanders 1 year undrafted free agency contract, right? So let's say if that's the case. If he has a contusion, that's 4 to 6 weeks. Let's say worst case, 6 to 12 weeks based off the injury, right? If he signs that contract in March, April, May, June, I think June they start OTAs. June, July they start OTAs. Shiloh Sanders should be fully healed at that time. So we shall see. So that's something else to keep in mind. Even if Shiloh Sanders get picked up, as long as it's not a fracture or a break or anything like that, if it's just a contusion, right? And if it's not a tear, because if it's a tear, that's over a year. It's not going to happen this year. Shiloh Sanders, if he does get picked up for at least a 1 year extension, he will be ready by the time OTAs and mandatory training. I know that for sure based off the timeline that we saw online. But it all depends on the severity of that contusion. But we shall see, Vestas. We lost another young brother. Yeah, I brought that up, Faith. I opened up the live regarding that. That was the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings wide receiver. He was 25, named Rondale Moore. He self-deleted himself from this world. And I was telling everybody, Faith, that in the 4 months that my channel has been up, this is the second player I've had report on a rest in peace. Marshawn Nealon, he, whatever issues he had, he removed himself from this world in October or November. That was the first player I ever had to report on. And now today I reported on Rondale Moore. 24 and 25-year-old men. Shedeur Sanders just turned 24. Shiloh Sanders just turned 26. So these are very young men. And ironically, both of these players were still active in the NFL. Now, regarding Moore, I went over his resume. He has had injuries in the last 2 years. And maybe he got word, just hypothetically, maybe he got word that they was going to cut him. The Minnesota Vikings was going to cut him. Not sure. He only played for the Arizona Cardinals 3 years. Then he got traded to Atlanta. He got injured. Not one active game. Then he got traded to the Vikings. Not one active game because he got injured again. So really, he has no stats. So from a business standpoint, you don't have no stats in the last 3 years. I need this position, but that's hypothetical. We don't know what happened. He could have mental issues, but the story is developing, and I will report on it once I find out what happened. 25. Yeah. Nealon was 24, active. I think he was in his second contract. Yeah, second contract, I think. But Moore, I think his position could have been different. So what I put up about Moore, and the reason why I'm saying that, I looked at his height, his weight, right? He was a wide receiver, but get this, he was shorter than Jimmy Horn and LaJohntay Wester. He was only 5'7", 188, 181, 185 pounds. If you're a wide receiver, right? Because LaJohntay Wester and Jimmy Horn was like 5'11-ish. Even they called them small. A wide receiver that's 5'7", and you got DBs and cornerbacks that's 6 feet. What ball you gonna catch? Unless they was using him as a slot wide receiver, but still, that's short. That's short. So I really think they was looking at all those metrics, and they saw the combine coming up, and they saw these list of wide receivers. 46 wide receivers is going to the combine with height, weight, speed, agility, wingspans like this. Hey, and oh my Lord, there should be a way to help people. Right. Now, Deebo and Joe did say this. So remember when I said that they said in order to be vested in the NFL, it was 5 years. Deebo and Joe, unless, and this is something else that the NFLPA can actually update in the CBA. Now, to be vested in the NFL is 4 years and 4 months. So based off this timeline, but you still have to be eligible. Based off this timeline I gave you regarding Moore, that's 5 years, but he has been injured the last 2. So if that's the case, let's say if they said, okay, well, we're going to let you go, he doesn't have that time in order to get those mental benefits, dental, vision, annuities. I looked up all of this. He doesn't qualify. I don't think they qualified if they count these 2 years against him. He doesn't qualify. So if you cut, I think that's it. But you're right. I agree with you. It should be some type of transition. Just like in the military, they give you time to transition into normal life after, if you leave, retire, or if you just decide to leave after contract, you still go through training to transition into regular life. I think a lot of these players, that's why they come out broke, mentally damaged and everything, because they don't transition. Who knows? Maybe it is training. I don't know. Like I said, we still don't know why he did that to himself, but he took himself out the same way that Marshawn Nealon took himself out. Wow. The same way. The same way. The same way. All right. They all need counseling. I pray for my bookie. Yes. All right, investors, it's been 2 hours and 11 minutes. And I thank y'all so much, but I have to go. I got family members at the door. But investors, I thank you. And guess what? We're going to come back here. I may even come back Tuesday just to do a quick live, but I'm definitely coming back Thursday, okay? So investors, thank you so much for all of your interaction. I love today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy your Sunday. And next time you come back, make sure you come back with the same energy, because we're going to talk about it round and around and around. I'm going to give you all the information you need, okay? So thank you, investors. I enjoy today. We have to advocate better for our people. You're right. And the NFL got all of these programs out there. They actually do. Okay, they finna take out my dough. All right. All right, investors. Take care.